It is a big day today. It is Thursday, the day before the 15th of September. That is going to be the quad witching date. So I thought that today would be a great day to be looking at past quad witchings over the past few years here and what they've essentially meant for price action, what essentially we've seen based upon that, and then maybe what to expect. Of course, this is a big time that we've been waiting for on this particular channel for the past 3 to 4 weeks now. We have been looking at this date as very implicative of potentially a major turning point in the markets. So it is yet again very important for me to reiterate that between now and tomorrow, basically leading into that quad witching date, technically speaking, probabilistically speaking, still downside more likely. However, if Bitcoin can essentially survive, chugging its way sideways still, that is going to start to change things in favor of the upside, as we will likely look at, or maybe I'll come back at that model tomorrow. I think maybe that'll make most sense for tomorrow. But in the meantime, plenty to discuss. Other than that, I'm going to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Thursday morning. What the fuck, man? Not even close right there. Before we get into it, I do want to actually announce that the Discord link has been once again implemented into the YouTube description there. It is somewhere kind of near the top-ish region or also within the commented region as well. So if you're interested in joining a nice group of, a nice community of traders and also just shit talkers and some really funny people, actually, some really funny people, actually. There are actually some hilarious conversations. I didn't get a chance to shout out everyone yesterday who participates in such things, but if you go to general chat, it is just it's it's actually hilarious. Anyways, it's 100% free to do, of course, and the link is available to you there in the description below. All right, sweet. Other than that, I think we should just jump right into this one, and I'll get to the wrong pane right there, my bad. And I think the most important thing to start off today is the big topic, which is the quad witching. So the quad witching, again, is a major expiration date for options and futures. You have obviously your index and then your equity options and then your futures as well, all expire on the same date. And big money managers typically use this as a major pivot, to then put on new positions, roll them over, whatever the fuck they might be doing. This is why typically you do see big changes in direction around these dates. And what I've done here on this chart is I've marked off all of the quad witching dates that we've seen for the past few years. Yeah, we can go back further than this as well, but I just thought that this was, much more easy to see on the same chart here. And you can see that all of them have been met with, major changes in price action on major highs and major lows, actually, which is funny how that works, right? I mean, even in this past year, we did see the last quad witching date, of course, in June. That was as Bitcoin did go all the way from about $25,000 to the current high of just under $32,000. The one before that was obviously in March. Again, major move on that turning point from that move down to 19,500 all the way up to $30,000 pretty damn quick. And then of course we did see currently the low of this cycle basically on the December quad witching, as well as Bitcoin did prepare to reverse from about 16,500 to that first major high of $25,000. Again, we can go back a little bit further in history than that. You can see that all of these do match up with major turning points, whether it's at the end of a dump or the end of a pump. These have pretty much always marked big turning points within the market. Here I'll just mark off some of the, they're literally all major highs and major lows. Some of them are like the highs and the lows, but you have this low right here before a nice rally, this low right here literally on the dump. You have this high right here on the bull trap of 2022. You got this high right here on the first lower high in 2022. You got this major low here a couple summers ago in September before Bitcoin went from 40,000 or 38,000 to the current all-time high. You have the low of 2021 right here. You got the high basically of 2021 right there. You got the big bad breakout, the macro breakout that we did see in December of 2020 right here. And then of course you got this higher low, this macro higher low before the major move to the upside in September of 2020. So I didn't go further back than that, but of course we can definitely do that, and I'm sure the results would be just as interesting. So in this case, we are once again going to have one of these major dates tomorrow, the 15th, and just kind of looking at where Bitcoin's coming at this one from, it is coming at it from, a downside move. This was a downside move right here, and this will officially, be tomorrow. And so do we see Bitcoin yet again reverse on this, or at least stop the current trend? Perhaps yes. We really haven't seen too many examples except for 2020 over here, where it actually was a continuation. In fact, all the other ones have been reversals. Yeah, have marked reversals basically. So, I did think that that was rather interesting, and that would imply, next move probably does go to the upside here. Anyways, before we get into a little bit more detail with that, I do want to go over here to the 4-hour HPDR ranges. There is something new, actually. There is something significantly new, as we do see that the 4-hour 50% of historic returns range, this blue range right here, has shifted up, in its most significant manner since basically the failed pump that we did see in late August, which I thought was interesting. And again, it is showing the bottom side of this current range actually a little bit lower than what I was looking at yesterday at 25,550. I was saying 25,600, but that is to say that, I probably am looking at this as a low as long as Bitcoin is above that region. That does imply if Bitcoin gets rejected, pops back down below 25,600 on a closing basis, or in this case, technically it'd be 25,550, again on a 4-hour closing basis, then we can expect today to be a pretty nasty day. Very likely Bitcoin retest the lows of the weekend, probably make some new lows if that were to happen. That is where you're going to start to see me turn quite bearish. But for right now, Bitcoin Bula is still kind of doing what they need to do, just eating up time, going sideways, not really seeing any continuation of the of last week's Dumbola party, or this week's Dumbola party. Yeah, it was actually this week, sorry. But yeah, anyways, moving now into some of the more traditional tools. We can go over here, we can go check out a few other things. We can start with the daily. We can go over to CME. Just a few things of note, again, Bitcoin coming off that white 200 simple on the daily here, always can be a major area of interest, of course, for at least a bounce. I mean, obviously we've already seen the bounce, but on that topic, we do see bullish divergence on that low. Yeah, you could say the easy portion of that move is certainly played out. And then we see the daily Jewel actually still getting that lift off right there, which is also a good, generally good signal. 2-day time frame is also going to be having that hidden bullish divergence and potentially putting in regular bullish divergence between this point. Well, I guess I already got it in there. Between this point and this point, as price action did make slightly lower lows right here, which would have a target in the low 27s. Again, this is alongside the 2-day Jewel, also starting to get maybe an upside signal here, but still another day, basically tomorrow, to confirm that one. So we'd really expect Bitcoin to be closing above 26.5 or so on CME if this one is going to follow through. Again, I want to be very, very clear with that because in the interim, downside is still more likely. I will continue to repeat that just so that hopefully I don't get misheard is what I'm looking for here. Because if there is going to be downside, it very likely happens between today and tomorrow. Today, probably most likely, just because today is Thursday, and Thursday is the most likely day of downside for Bitcoin. Anyways, yes, now that we're here, we can also go check out the 5-day time frame, which is also going to be building its own drives, a potential hidden bullish divergence between, let me get rid of these. Okay, get out of there, you fuck. You don't deserve to be there, and neither do you. It's like just talking to your charts. Between this point and this point right here, again, technically still on higher lows on the 5-day time frame chart. So so that would imply that Bitcoin, again, can't come below about 25,600. Otherwise, that gets invalidated and actually starts to validate some pretty nasty downside moves. But for right now, it's still within the card. So you can see how the daily builds upon the 2-day, builds upon actually the 3-day as well. I forgot to mention this one, but same thing right here, majorly lower lows on 3-day RSI with higher lows on price action. So the daily leads into the 2-day, leads into the 3-day, leads into the 5-day. So you can see how these things build upon each other, but still these next couple days, that is when this stuff starts to get clarified and starts to get solidified, and really starts to, potentially signal some upside in this case. So yeah, we have that. We can go through stochastic momentum as well. Maybe it's important to start off over here with the 3-day time frame, which is closing today for CME. And if Bitcoin closes above 25,620, it's going to cross the upside for the first time since we did see in 12th of June. I'm curious what happened around there because I believe that was actually one of the last quad witching dates. And that was pretty much on the last major low, as you can see, before Bitcoin went from about 25 to 32. So I do think that is, potentially of significant interest. The 2-day time frame is going to be showing, it will turn to the upside above 26,250, currently trading about $100 above that region. But again, not closing today, closing tomorrow. And then we got the daily, which should also be up, but a little bit weak here above 25,520. So again, kind of coming in alignment with that 25,550-ish region that we just looked at with the HPDR, meaning that if Bitcoin does come back down below there, all upside is hopium for a while. Very likely we do see this one continue significantly to the downside. But for right now, again, the Bula still keeping their hopes alive. 12-hour time frame also be showing upside above 25,200. 6-hour time frame getting quite up there, but still showing upside above 26. 4-hour time frame going to be showing downside below 26.4. So we're starting to see a little bit of differences here. And hourly is going to be showing also downside below 26,330, which Bitcoin's literally at right now. So, yeah, it's a big day today is what I'm trying to say. If you're looking for like kind of the long-term direction of this asset, I'd really humbly expect for, and I don't like to say those words, but I'd really humbly expect that if Bitcoin is going to turn down, it does happen today or tomorrow. If Bitcoin continues, to survive above about 25.6, 25.5 for that time frame, things are going to start to change around. Remember, we still got the 5-day time frame set up over here, which is, it's starting to look more and more interesting. Still got another 3 days, three trading days left to go, but assuming that it can hold above 26.2, things are going to start to change around. Probability is going to start to favor the Bulas. And we could be potentially seeing a lot more interesting moves. Again, that coupled with, what we have seen on these quad witching dates as just general reversal points, more often than not. Sometimes they are continuation, yes. I'm inclined to say, I'm inclined to say maybe I'm leaning towards that right now. Maybe I'm leaning towards that. So I think that's maybe a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. I think you got everything here. Spoke about Discord, spoke about all of the notes, so we're good there. And I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off. As always, I want to be wishing you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.